uh, in which my buddy had said that he had completed, he had wrapped one of the wings and was like halfway done with another. So I was like, oh hell yeah, he's tearing it up. We're gonna be done with this thing in no time. And then when I got to his house to work on it, to like see all this progress that he had made, that he'd claimed to have made, none of it had not changed since last I'd seen it. So I was just like, that was the angriest I ever got at that buddy of mine. And yeah, as I was just like, you didn't have to tell me that it was almost done with the wings. Like, you could have just said, nah, I haven't really done anything. And I would have been like a little pissed at you, but I wouldn't have like been furious. Here we are. Now I am furious because I have been lied to. The deception hurts way worse. And that was a very formative thing for me for many reasons. Because one, it was like, I have lost some trust with my good friend who I've known. And again, this friend of mine, I've known him like since we were 4. Like, as long as I have been cognizant of who I am as a person, I have known this guy, and he is one of my best friends. I love him like a brother, and I would do anything for him. Even still, like, it's not like this was not like a friendship shattering moment. It was just like ooh, don't ever do that again. That was bad. That's a bad thing you did. But that was very formative for me because it also, when I was a little kid, oh dude, I lied all the time. When I was a little kid, I'd lie about anything. Because I knew it was like, well, I can just tell them the answer they want to hear, and if they can't prove that that's wrong, then everything's fine. And then often, because I was a small child, I was very bad at covering my tracks. So they could prove that it was wrong, and then I'd get in more trouble. But yeah, being a middle schooler and having, it's kind of like, well, I hate to say it, but it was one of those things that made me realize that it was like, oh, this is what all those other people felt. This is what my parents were talking about whenever I'd lie to them when I was a little kid. This really does suck. I need to stop doing that. I am not proud of how many times I've had to say that. Of like, oh, now I get it. Of when I've realized that, oh, that's what my actions made other people feel like. I should probably stop doing that. It's growing as a person is always fun and challenging, and I regret a great many things from my youth because I was a bit of a butthole, a big giant. Not even a bit of. I was a gaping butthole. But yeah, don't lie to people, kids. It's bad. It's bad. Don't do it. It doesn't help. Sometimes you honestly think it's helping. Very rarely is it good. Especially if it's something you're both working on, because they're gonna find it. They're gonna find out. Yeah. Mm. So, but this is this big old dragon. So it was a dragon with 2-foot wingspan, and we used this really thick wire on it because we thought, oh, it's gonna be big, so we're gonna have to use thicker wire so it'll stand up. And we were right, but because we used this thicker wire, it was very undefined and very clunky. It was a big old chunky boy. So it didn't look very good in my opinion. I mean, I was happy with it. I was like 13. I was happy with it because I made a huge dragon. It was pretty cool. But then where I got to flex a little bit, and what I was much more excited about, or not excited about, but happy with from a visual standpoint, was we made a rider for the dragon as well. And that was just like a little regular figure. And that was one of the first times that I had developed a new technique for, like, he had this shoulder armor, and I wanted it to look a very certain way, and I'd never done anything like it. And then when I did figure it out, I was just like, oh, it's perfect, it's good. That was one of the first times I had done that successfully. I made this big axe for him too. The axe looked super cool. I was very excited about that. But yeah, that was a good piece that ended up selling as well, which was fun. In retrospect, we underpriced it, but that's okay. Lessons learned. So yeah, we are hurtling towards done on this armature, and I'll show it off a little bit when I get it done. I know I haven't really been showing it to the camera very much because I've been focusing on getting it done quickly. But yeah, I don't know. This has always been a very fun hobby for me, and I say hobby. It that's another weird thing that I have yet to come to terms with, is that I do sell them. Again, Etsy store, Storybook Steel. You should check it out. I would be very appreciative if people went and bought things. But it's because I grew up around the convention, around a lot of actual professional artists who made their living off their art. I always have trouble introducing myself as a hello, please go away. This is Cassie. This is my other cat. She does not have a kink in her tail, but is also completely white. So that's Cassie. She's gonna go away now. Oh, there's Sophie. Sophie's gonna go away now. Go away, stay away. But yeah, I had the friend of mine who inspired a lot of my art, a lot of my firsts, and a lot of my better work. Recently said to me, and the comment it was a good comment, and it made me feel very good. It like broke my heart a little bit, but also was just one of the nicest things anyone has ever said to me. And it was just like an offhand comment. It wasn't even like a big moment, but they just said, hey, you know, like, you're good enough. You should introduce yourself as a sculptor. Your work is good enough. And this friend of mine is opinionated about the stuff they like, and that just it meant a great deal to hear them say that they liked my work enough, or thought highly enough of my work, that it was like, you know, you should just introduce yourself as that. It's like, oh, my poor little heart. I was not expecting that, and it meant a great deal. Oh, sorry about all the scratchy sounds. I'll re-lengthen that. So yeah, throwing the head on, that's really, or no, I gotta go thicken up this other leg, little chicken leg. But once I get the head and that leg done, we're gonna be done with this armature, and I'm gonna stop this recording so I can go get my pliers, because I did not prepare for this very well. But this is something I would like to do again in the future. If anybody does watch this and they have any comments, I am very open to them. I've made this head too big. Gotta undo that real quick. That's one of the things I love about this medium, is if you mess it up, you just unwind it. You just unwind it, try again. That's it. Like clay, you gotta like scrape it off and like mush it all up and try again, which is also great. But once you bake clay, like, that's it, you're done. There's no baking in wire. Wire is just wire. That's it. It's right on the tin. Just, it is what it is. But yeah, they're super durable. Like, whenever I do a show, I've done a couple of like flea markets or art shows or what have you. And you can just throw them on a cardboard box. They are so durable, it is not even funny. You could throw them under a car and just pick it up, bend it back, it's fine. It's like nothing ever happened. So that's been really great. That's one of my favorite things. I'll see parents come up with like their small children, and they'll be like, no, look, don't touch. And I'll ask first, because I realize sometimes they're just trying to instill in their child that general lesson of like, look, don't touch. Like, not everything is for you to grab. But I will tell the parents, I'm like, no, it's super cool. Like, that you can chuck them. It's fine. They're super durable. They're not going to break it. I'm not worried about that. And getting to see a little kid handle something that they think is cool for me to watch. Just being like, hey, there you go, champ. And sometimes, again, there are times where the parents are like, no, hey, I appreciate it, but we actually don't want them handling stuff just because that's a bad lesson. And I would go, oh, of course, that's not a problem. But when you do get to see a little kid be fascinated by something, and to think, I made a thing that fascinated a little kid, that's pretty cool. That's fun. I because I sell through the internet predominantly, I don't get to see people's reactions to my work very much. So when I do get to see somebody react, and not every reaction is as adorable as a small child, but there are times where you see people react very genuinely, and that is one of my favorite parts about making art in general, is just getting to see someone take it in. That's difficult to describe, but to see someone appreciate something that you made is a beautiful thing, in my opinion. And I don't know, especially when it's just like the wonderment of a little kid is just, I don't know, there's something sweet about that. If I can catch the attention of a little kid, that's fun. I don't know, little kids they kind of suck because they're like, they're very loud little monsters, but sometimes they're pretty cool. And whenever they're pretty cool in regards to one of my sculptures, I'm always like, yeah, I made a little kid smile. Yeah. All right. So that is the end of this armature. As you've seen, I've just kind of banged it out as I've been talking. I hope that was interesting to watch. I hope I kept it in frame. I know there were a lot of times when I didn't, and I apologize for that. If I do this again, I will definitely work on that. Thank you for watching. If you did, if you didn't, then you didn't hear this part. But this was enjoyable, and I would definitely like to try something like this again, and I hope you'd watch again. So thank you. All right, see y'all around.